Hello, it's been a while. I am removing the paper off of these Dollar Tree signs that I got and thought I would show how I do that. Not all Dollar Tree signs are made with the same material, so this may not work on all of them, but if they're of a harder type material, this probably will work. Um, all I do is I'm looking just to get the top layer of paper off, and you don't have to worry about getting it clean off. It'll be a little bit more work later on, but you can still do this. And I just take the paper off. This little thing is a metal scraper thing. I don't know what exactly it was supposed to be for. I picked it up at Joann's years ago. It came in a pack of several in several different sizes. So I don't know. I just saw it and I thought, that looks like that could be handy, and it has proven to be so. And don't worry about gouging this paper here. The substrate is hard enough that you're not really going to gouge into it too much. So, I'm trying to think. Kathy Joe, I think she uses a scraper and does a similar thing on some of her projects as well. And I don't know where she got hers from. Hers has a handle on it. I prefer this, but if you're looking for something similar, you might check out her channel. She might know where to get something like what she uses, because I've never seen these again since I saw them at Joann's. I've probably had these going on 10 years. So now that the paper's removed, and you can see that I've not been particularly good at removing it, I'm going to wet it down. Really well so that it penetrates. The reason you can't just spray the water on it to begin with is the top layer of paper is glossy, and so water doesn't really penetrate it. If you let it soak for a really long time and kept it wet, it might, but I find this to be just as easy. So, just removing this layer off of this here while I wait for the other to soak in. You can see this one's giving me a little more difficulty. And even if you can't get all of the top of the glossy paper off, it's okay. Because what little you might leave behind, if it's a small area, the water will soak up underneath it. It's just you can't, when it's a big area like fully covered, it doesn't work. But if you are able to get chunks of it off and just have small bits left behind, you'll see, like here, the water would be able to soak in underneath and it wouldn't be a problem. So you don't have to get all of the top removed. It's just what you have left over needs to be small enough that water can get underneath it. I've been doing a lot of crafting, and my desk was so covered up and finally decided I needed to get some cleaning done so that I could continue to craft. It was down to the point that I only had the bottom inch or two of my desk to work on because I had so much stuff sitting on my desk. Went through and I think one of the last videos I did was about doing molding my molds so that I could easily see what I had, and I started out doing it with clay, and then it occurred to me that I had so many molds that there was no way I would cover a whole wall with just molds if I had done what I had originally thought I was going to do. So I scrapped that idea, and thankfully Michaels has had a couple of good sales on, and I picked up the quick cast resin, and I think I still got a couple of molds I need to do that I had lost, and well, I mean, I hadn't lost them, but they weren't in with the other molds, so I had to clean up my mess from that. Unfortunately, I'm guessing it's where I had accidentally spilt a little bit of one of the parts of resin on my silicone mat that it caused it to bubble up, and I couldn't get it to come off. So I had to replace my mat. But the other mat's still fairly usable. But now you see how much easier this is scraping off now. And it's going to leave some of the glue behind, so it's going to feel a little tacky, but I wouldn't worry about that at the moment. I'm just worried about getting the paper off. There we go. I don't know that I'd really call that paper. It's more like a cardboardy type material. And I'm going to spray it back down with water again to loosen up the glue that's on here. And I think I will let it set a few minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and sometimes if you don't let it sit long enough or don't wet it down enough, you'll see that you'll have little bits of the paper still attached, and that's okay. That's why I let it sit, because the water will absorb down to the bottom. And you can see those areas where I had left the top layer of paper still on. It didn't interfere with my removing that. I'll just re-wet this to get the rest of that off and bring this back. You can see that thin line of glue this is scraping up now. Just if you tap your fingers on it, you can usually tell if they're still. They put quite a bit of glue on that. It's not a high-tack glue, I guess, given how easy it is to scrape off. I'm going to use these as legs on a shelf. That's still fairly tacky, but I'll let it dry and see if it still feels tacky. And once you get all the glue and stuff off and it's smooth, that's primarily what I'm looking for here, is just smoothness. I plan on painting these, so if it's a little tacky, it's not going to matter that much. There we go. And you see how much glue and stuff I picked up off of that. There we go. That's it, done. Well, I've got a little bit there yet. I'm gonna let it dry. It'll take a while to dry. I wanted to get this done today so that I'll just leave these to set over the day to dry, and then I'll put a couple coats of paint on them and make my shelves. The shelves are going to be for my die catalog, and want to redo my embossing folder catalog as well into the same binder system, and then I can have them all set behind me on the shelves for easy reference. But that's all I've got to share today. That just makes it a lot easier to get that paper off and not have to sand it down and stuff and make the mess with the sanding. And I know painting over top of that stuff is hit or miss, and you have to paint so many coats to get whatever was underneath covered up so you can't see it. And this just simplifies all of that. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good holiday season, and enjoy your day. Bye.